Have you ever wondered what makes a romantic connection actually work? What makes it last? Is it just some magical chemistry? Is it fate? Well, it turns out it's not magic at all. Today, we're going to decode the actual blueprint of our bonds and dive deep into the science of attachment. I mean, this is the big one, right? It's the question we've all asked ourselves. Why do some couples seem to thrive for decades while other relationships just crumble? Is it all just a roll of the dice, or is there something more going on underneath?
Well, science has a pretty clear answer. It is definitely not magic. Our ability to form these deep, lasting connections is actually built on a biological and psychological blueprint. And the best part? It's a blueprint that we can actually understand and maybe even change.
So where does this blueprint come from? Well, it starts getting sketched out way earlier than you probably think. It all begins in early childhood, and it's what psychologists call our attachment style. A lot of what we know comes from this brilliantly simple experiment from back in the 80s called the strange situation. All researchers did was put a toddler and a parent in a room, have the parent leave for a minute, and then watch what happened. But the key wasn't just how the kid reacted to the parent leaving, it was how they reacted when the parent came back. And trust me, this isn't just about babies. This is basically the origin story of how you love. And what they found was wild. The kids' reactions fell into four very distinct patterns. You had your secure kids, who got upset when mom or dad left but were easily comforted when they returned. Then you had the anxious avoidant kids, who kind of acted like they couldn't care less either way. The anxious ambivalent kids got super distressed and then were almost impossible to calm down. And then there was this last group, disorganized, where the kids just seemed confused with no clear strategy at all. Okay, so here's the kicker. That style you developed as a 1-year-old, it turns out to be an incredibly powerful predictor of how you're going to show up in your romantic relationships as a full-grown adult. It literally sets the stage for how you'll handle intimacy, conflict, and connection decades down the line. Now, before you start freaking out and blaming your parents for everything, here is the really good news. This blueprint, it's not carved in stone. It's more like it's drawn in pencil. Just by understanding that these patterns exist, you gain this incredible power to start reshaping them. They are absolutely malleable. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does this attachment blueprint actually work in our biology? Well, it all starts with a core mechanism in our body that you can think of as a kind of autonomic seesaw. Okay, so picture a seesaw. That's your autonomic nervous system. On one end, you've got high alert states. We're talking play, panic, intense focus. And on the other end, you have states of deep calm, feeling safe, soothed, sleepy. Throughout our day, we are constantly tilting back and forth between these two extremes. And here's a look at those two states in action. Our very first relationships with our caregivers are basically the training grounds for learning how to ride this seesaw. How to go from the exciting high alert of play and then back down to the comforting calm of feeling safe with someone you trust. And if you want a really stark example of this, there was a study done during the World War II bombings. Researchers observed mothers and their kids in bomb shelters, and what they saw was incredible. If a mother was panicking, her child's body, their heart rate, their breathing, would mirror that stress. But if the mother managed to stay calm, maybe even turn it into a kind of game, the child also stayed calm. Our seesaws literally sync up. That's called autonomic co-regulation. Okay, so our ability to connect is about more than just managing our own internal seesaw. There are two other critical circuits in the brain that act like keys, unlocking these really powerful bonds we form with other people. The first one is empathy, but let's think about it biologically for a second. Empathy is your brain's amazing ability to get your seesaw to match the state of someone else's seesaw. It's driven by parts of your brain like the insula and the prefrontal cortex, and it's what allows us to genuinely feel with another person. Now, this second key is a little weird, but it's absolutely crucial. Scientists call it positive delusion. You know that feeling, that powerful, unshakable belief that this one specific person is completely unique in the world, and that only they can make you feel this amazing way. Well, as strange as it sounds, that little bit of delusion is a vital ingredient for forging a long-term bond. All right, so if those are the ingredients for connection, what are the things that actively destroy it? The legendary relationship researchers John and Julie Gottman identified 4 behaviors that are so toxic, they actually call them the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
And they are criticism, which is an attack on your partner's character. Then there's defensiveness, that knee-jerk reaction to play the victim. Third is stonewalling, which is just a total shutdown of that empathy circuit we were just talking about. And finally, the most dangerous one of all, contempt.
The Gottmans actually call contempt the sulfuric acid of relationships. And think about that image. It's this feeling that your partner is beneath you, that they're worthless or deserving of your scorn. It is the single greatest predictor that a relationship is going to fail. It's the polar opposite of everything you need for a healthy bond.
Okay, enough doom and gloom. We know what kills a relationship. But what about the other side of the coin? How do we build one that actually lasts? Well, science points to this really fascinating idea called self-expansion.
Self-expansion is that feeling you get when being with your partner makes you feel like, well, like a bigger, better, more capable version of yourself. It's the sense that they help you grow, that the relationship brings new and exciting things into your life. And the power of this is just incredible. Get this, one study found that when people felt a high degree of self-expansion in their relationship, they literally rated other attractive people as less attractive. But when that feeling of self-expansion was low, suddenly all those alternative partners started looking a whole lot more attractive. Your relationship can literally change the way you see the world around you.
So you see, it all comes back to that blueprint, the one that started in childhood, but that we have the power to edit and redraw every single day through our choices and our actions. The science gives us the plans, so the real question is, now that you know a little more about your own blueprint, how are you going to build your connections?